Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here, and welcome to Wizard Watch, the weekly show where we take a look at the good, the bad and the damn right wizardry moments from this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's cut to the chase and kick things off with the good moments. And I've got to start off with the Jey Uso Sami Zayn embrace. A giant, huge man hug which received a gigantic ovation from the WWE Universe. It seems like hugs get the biggest pops in WWE these days. Of course, seeing Jey Uso on Raw is very strange, especially alone and not part of the bloodline. And I like that WWE have made you aware of the fact that Jey Uso has made a lot of enemies. Of course, Sami making Jey aware of the fact that there's a giant target on his back, but ultimately he has his back. And it seems that Jey Uso is certainly feeling in a very Usy mood. Now this next bit isn't a moment at all. It's just me appreciating a superstar and act on the roster in Chelsea Green. She is killing it in her Karen role. Her interactions with Adam Pearce are absolute gold. And I honestly believe that her rehire within WWE is one of the best re-signings in recent memory. Yes, she was squashed to Raquel. Of course she's going to be. Raquel's getting heated up for a rematch against Rhea Ripley, which I have a feeling that a certain JD McDonough is going to help Rhea along the way, and that's how he gets accepted into the Judgment Day. But nevertheless, always a breath of fresh air to see Chelsea Green on the screen. And fear not, Piper Niven is not injured. She is just dealing with an illness. But of course, WWE want to scare you and make you believe that those tag team titles are once again cursed. Now, how can we not talk about the visuals in the Judgment Day coming out with all the gold, claiming that they run Raw, that they run WWE. Also, we saw JD McDonough, of all people, introduce a new shiny briefcase for Damian Priest. You got to assume this is JD McDonough taking one step closer to officially getting accepted within the Judgment Day. You've got to think so. Next up, we got treated to a matchup between Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. It was actually Shayna Baszler that got the victory in this physical match. Of course, we knew it was going to be physical between the two of them. And they fist pumped at the end. So does it seem like we're going to get maybe a tag team, an alliance between Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler? Maybe they're testing the water along the way as well, because I don't feel that WWE are fully committed to a Zoe Stark face turn. I certainly didn't read that from Payback. It was just her knocking Trish on her ass to everybody's delight. Next up, we had one of the funniest segments I've seen in a long time, and surely only The Miz can carry off a segment like this. John Cena's music hit. John Cena came down to the ring and cut a promo alongside The Miz. The only problem was we literally couldn't see him. The Miz delivering a skull-crushing finale to John Cena. And I just feel so sorry for the fans in attendance when they legitimately thought that they were going to see John Cena in the flesh. They got John Cena, but the you can't see me version of John Cena. Literally. Kudos to Miz. He is killing it. He just makes me laugh. The comedic elements that he brings to Raw is gold. Now, I wouldn't normally be a massive fan of this, but the Viking Raiders beating McGriddle because Kofi Kingston came in for some random reason to try and save the day and be a hero and help McIntyre in Riddle. And I love this because this is just pushing Drew McIntyre one step closer to committing to a heel turn. When is he going to turn? That is the question. And who is he going to turn on along the way? Now, of course, another question that comes up is we know that Jey Uso is being drafted to Raw or just shipped to Raw. Who do you think is going to go in the other direction? I actually still think it's going to be Cody Rhodes, but I wouldn't mind it if it was Kevin Owens. No idea why my voice just broke then. Because Kevin Owens and Grayson Waller in a feud over on SmackDown would be pretty juicy. So that moves us on to the bad moments of Monday Night Raw. And to be honest with you, creatively, it was booked to perfection other than one moment. One moment of utter madness. Now, I've been a massive fan of the Seth Rollins-Nakamura feud to this point, but logic just completely went out the window, especially when it came to this segment. Nakamura is targeting Seth Rollins, right? He wants his World Heavyweight title. He's specifically targeting his back. And Seth Rollins, I get it, he's a defiant champ that wants to defend his title at all costs, puts his belt his title on the line, offers a rematch to Nakamura, who turns it down. Why on earth, on God's green earth, would you turn down a matchup for a title when your opponent is already weakened and vulnerable? Especially when you know Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, is lurking in the background and is ready to strike at any point. Surely you would capitalise. What were they smoking, WWE Creative, at that point? I just don't get that decision. It made zero sense. And of course that moves us on to the Wizardry moment, my top pick. This is a fairly obvious one. Surely we've got to showcase the Gunther Chad Gable match for the IC title. Now, I didn't think Chad Gable was going to win, especially this close to Gunther succeeding the Honky Tonk Man and breaking all kinds of records in regards to the longest IC title reign of all time. But the match delivered. There was the occasional moment where you thought Chad Gable's got a chance. I love it when Cole on commentary was alluding to the fact that Chad Gable still has a chance. But of course, a dominant show from Gunther, a power bomb, a clothesline that I want to say was from hell, and of course getting the victory. I'd literally give that match an A on its own. It was fire. And overall, I'd give an A to the show. I thought it was fantastic, with the exception of that crazy booking with Nakamura. I really don't understand that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The first slip up, I think, along the way in that feud at this moment. I pray Nakamura gets that belt off Seth at some point, but I have a feeling Nakamura is going to beat down Seth Rollins, lose somehow in a matchup, and then cue Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank briefcase when Seth is most vulnerable. What do you think? What did you think about tonight's show? Get down in the comment section, share your thoughts and opinions, and as always, we'll catch you in the next one.